we're excited to have you on because you have a really, really cool movie to talk about. Actually, several cool movies to talk about, right?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel really excited about things at the moment because I've done a succession of about 10 feature films back to back. So now it's amazing to actually, get to see them all actually being released and to have such great feedback for all the films. But the two I'm extremely excited about at the moment are probably Escape and Dark Game. Both are directed by Howard J. Ford, and they are both currently out in the US and Canada and coming to the UK in May. So yeah, I can't wait for my friends and family to get to see it here.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about those. Of course, we know a little bit about Escape, but it's always good to hear about all the good new stuff that's going on.
Definitely, yeah. So I'm glad you already know a lot about Escape, because I know you had my lovely Sarah Marks, who I got to act alongside
That's right.
with Escape. Yeah, I knew she did an interview with yourself. But yeah, it's really an incredible movie. It's about human trafficking, which obviously is a pretty dark subject. The main themes of the film, I would say, are female empowerment and revenge. The film basically follows 10 girls who have been human trafficked, and then eventually follows myself and Sarah's escape. We basically hatch really a very optimistic escape plan together. And the film then follows our insane adventures as we attempt to escape and attempt to survive no matter what. And then the film is also focused around kind of my triggers to get revenge on these awful villains. And it's an amazing movie. It's very, very action packed. There's loads of stage combat, martial arts in it, and it's just non-stop, fast-paced action, and it really keeps you on the edge of your seat at all times. And it's incredible when I play Lucy, who's obviously the lead role, alongside the wonderful Sarah Marks, and we just had the most amazing time filming together, and it was such an incredible experience.
Yeah, I was going to say for such a dark subject, it looked like, or it sounded like you had a whole lot of fun. It just kept the
Yes.
set light, right?
Yes, we really did. We were so lucky with the locations because we got to film in this beautiful villa in France, and then the bulk of the film was filmed in the Canary Islands, which was really amazing. So myself and Sarah were constantly running around in like these really like minimal outfits, like
And then you're like, I get paid to
bad
do
guys.
this.
So yeah, we developed this really incredible friendship, and we had so much fun. And everyone on the set, within the cast and the crew, are all just really lovely people, and we're all just really determined to make a really incredible project. And the director, Howard J. Ford, always manages to turn every filming sensation into such an adventure. So it was just really great to work with every single person involved on the movie. So yeah, it's very exciting to have that out now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you ever look around on the set of something like that and just go, get paid to do this? This is great.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so true. Yeah, whenever I'm on set, I think I'm always so much more like that's always when I'm at my most happiest, kind of. So exactly, it's like getting paid to do what you love, and when you're also acting with your friends, you feel like you're very much on like a paid holiday. So yeah, it's just even more amazing, and to get to travel at the same time always feels like super fortunate.
Yeah. Do you have a specific memory from that film that you think will always stand out that you're just kind of looking around going, I'm always going to remember this?
Actually, yeah, there was one scene that we did where we were filming in these really incredible caves, and the weather that day was just terrible. It was pouring with rain and really windy, and Howard was still really determined to get these shots in the can. So despite the weather that was completely against us, we all just sort of bundled into the car, put our costumes on, grabbed the camera and loads of like waterproof equipment to protect everything, and just all like went to these caves, and we were all just kind of huddled together, like getting all of our makeup prepared and like going through lines. And I just remember looking around thinking, wow, this feels so surreal, and I feel really grateful to like be in this moment where I'm filming in such an incredible location and filming what felt like such kind of like almost a dream role to me because my character very much started off as the villain, sorry, and then managed to really turn things around and get her own back. And I feel like I kind of turned into almost like a superhero type character and will manage to really get my own back and all of the horrible guys. And it was, yeah, it was great for me because I grew up doing like gymnastics, martial arts, and stage combat. So to get to kind of portray a lot of those kind of action skills into this movie was like an absolute bonus for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's an intense movie. It starts out intense, just from the first scene. So it's definitely one that I think people are going to want to check out. And there's also a good bit of awareness in there for such a hard subject. But something we still need to think about even with our entertainment, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really sad to think that obviously human trafficking still goes on in so many countries. And I think it's so important, particularly for girls, to be very aware of safety on the streets, to not be too open on social media. To like I always, when I post something, I make sure I post the location once I've already left. Because you just never really know who could be following you or who you don't want to be following you. And I think it's, yeah, with so many harrowing things that do still go on, it's always good to be very aware to not get into taxis with people you just met, things like that, that when you're having a good time in a bar, for example, you might not necessarily think about if you're having a fun time with a crowd of people. But yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, tell us about this other film that you're excited about. I can't wait to hear about that.
Yes, so the other one is called Dark Game. It's also directed by Howard J. Ford. And the film, it stars Ed Westwick. He plays
Mhm.
a detective who is basically on the hunt for a really psychotic serial killer who is operating on the dark web. The film basically is focused around this really, really sadistic online game where people are actually kidnapped in real life and then forced to compete against their own lives. So it's a really, really harrowing, very, very intense horror thriller. And I play a character called Faye, who sadly is one of the captives. So my role, sorry, though, is very, very intense. It's really, really harrowing. It's probably the kind of the scenes I'm in are probably the type that are kind of hard to forget, I would say, but they're definitely very impactful. And I have a very significant role in the movie as I open the whole film, which is really awesome. And yeah, it's just honestly, it's a brilliant, brilliant movie. There's a lot of depth to it as well. I feel like there's a really good focus on the characters as well as the storyline. And it's, yeah, it's a very powerful piece. And for me, it was obviously great to get a role in a movie alongside Ed Westwick, who obviously is the star of Gossip Girl, which I just loved. I was like a massive fan. So
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
was really grateful to land that role.
Yeah. And a really, really cool guy. We just had him on the show recently too. It was really, really cool. Loved having
No
him.
way! Oh, that's
Hmm.
that's really great to hear. Yeah, he is a really lovely person actually, and I think most people who interview him are always surprised as well because he's so good at doing American accents.
Yeah, he sure is. Do you have a memory from that set that'll always stand out to you?
Oh gosh, yeah. So because my scenes I think were so dark, it's hard for me to forget them. And I think one thing that people forget when they watch movies is that actors are genuinely doing these things in real life. So this might be sound like a giveaway, but it's in the trailer. So hopefully it's okay that I say it. But there's one scene where I'm literally tied to a chair and I have a gag like around my mouth and my hands and my feet are literally tied to this chair. And obviously I actually am tied to the chair in real life. And
Oh
we were
no.
filming. Yeah, so it was like, okay. And we're filming in this massive warehouse, which was actually freezing. I remember Howard was wearing like multiple layers to like stay warm, and he kept making sure all the actors and obviously all the crew were making sure we all had like blankets so we weren't freezing. And there's this one part where I won't give too much away in terms of the position of the chair. that my body was aligned to at the time. But I just remember comically like someone from the crew saying like, Sophie, are you okay? And I was just like, can I get some soup? Like it's a joke because I'm just in the most precarious of positions. And they were like, it might not be the best time for soup, but we can definitely arrange something warm for you after your scene.
It's interesting because people look up to what you're doing and they think this is what I want to do, and you finally
Yeah.
got to this point, and what advice do you give to the actors and actresses that look to you and go, how do I do this?
The best advice I always give is firstly to make sure it's something you absolutely want to do, because I think it's probably one of the hardest and toughest industries. And I feel you have to really love it to pursue it because it's not easy. You have to be very used to rejection and you have to develop quite a thick skin in order for things to not affect you. And you have to, I think, also become quite perceptive in being able to kind of understand people quite well, because obviously there's so many dodgy individuals in the industry which now I feel like I'm quite good at like seeking out. But I think it's yeah, you have to be quite a good judge of character, and I also think you need to be able to build a life for yourself that enables you to actually pursue acting, because it's not something I would recommend anyone relies on straight away. It's such a hustle and it's a very long term project. So yeah, build a life for yourself that you feel enables you to be able to constantly audition for things and put yourself out there and not be reliant on it financially. Have side hustles, network as much as you possibly can, because for me that's always been far greater than agents I've had some wonderful agents, but I always feel I'm probably my best agent because I'm kind of shameless in the sense that I'll meet someone and then I'll follow it up with them and I'll try hope that they don't forget me. So that's really important. But above all, if it's something you love, just keep going. Don't give up, because it can be so rewarding, especially when you start to see work you've done really come to life on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And my co-host Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, NFL legend, went in the Hall of Fame. We're so proud of him, and he caught the Hail Mary, which of course, even in American football, if you don't follow, is a pop culture term now, and we just love to ask people that Hail Mary moment, that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
Oh, that's such a great question. Do you know what? Probably for me, it was I lived in the Philippines for 5 years, back from about 2015 for acting and modeling out there. I was doing a lot of films and like TV shows, and then there was this one specific moment in my life where some things weren't going particularly well, and I kind of had almost had enough of the industry at that particular moment, and for a really short amount of time, I planned on just like leaving the country, coming back to the UK, like going back to university, and just completely like changing my plans. And it was all linked to some like, not so great scenarios I was in back then. And then I thought to myself, like, no way am I going to let these dodgy people that have tried to mess me around, like, change the goals that I've been trying to pursue here. So I ended up cancelling the university course I just booked. I figured I already have enough, skills educationally. And I stayed in the Philippines and I did a lot more films, loads more TV shows, ended up getting booked for modeling contracts all around Asia. And yeah, it was an absolute game changer for me and it massively helped my CV, gave me such an incredible amount of life experience. And yeah, then ended up obviously staying there for several more years before then obviously coming back to the UK and doing 10 more feature films. So that for me was a big moment in my life where I now look back on and think, wow, I'm so glad I made the decision to stick everything out. And yeah, I would never look back.
Oh, I love that. Well, and you have such a great outlook, and we talk about that on the show a lot, that success mindset that you have to have, even if you're not feeling it. And so, is there something that you tell yourself that keeps you on the right path, even when things are tough?
I really believe in like positivity is really the path to success. So I just try not to let things bother me. I stay positive, and yeah, if in doubt, I call the people I love, like my mum, who's like my best friend. And yeah, I think just staying positive is always the road I positive is always the road I choose to take. And I find fresh air, exercise, hiking also gives me a sort of a long road of enlightenment as well.
Yeah, love that. Well, last thing, I can't wait to see what else you got coming up for us. I know you got a few more things, right, that we should look out for.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I also play one of the lead roles in a movie called Ouija Castle, which is directed by Louisa Warren. I play Princess Sophia in that movie, and I'm very excited about that one. It's being released by ITN, who are the brains behind Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So they put very out there films on the market. This one is a very dark version of Sleeping Beauty, and my character is a pure villain. She's a spoilt little princess brat who always wants her own way, and she's just terrible. And she's such a villain, and she's horrible, which was so much fun for me to play because I'm always used to being cast as the good girl or the victim. And in this, I got to play a pure nasty villain, which I must admit was so much fun. So yeah, there's that. And then also got a film called In the Last Punch, which I play the lead female role in, and that film is a drama. Then I also have a film called Bogeyville, which is a vampire film, which I play Betsy in. And I also have a role in Bermondsey Tales, where I play the love interest of Chapham. He's the sensation of Hollyoaks, which is as you probably know, a very famous sitcom hit. Sitcom? Would you call it sitcom?
Yeah.
TV series, soap opera in the UK. Trying to think of any others. That's probably the films that currently I have upcoming at the moment, and other projects that I'm working on that I can't talk too much about at the moment. But yeah, very excited about things.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, we're so happy for you. You've got so much going on, and really love your outlook on everything. And definitely gonna be following along to see what you've got coming up. It all sounds really, really cool. But for now, we're gonna tell people to check out those two films, and especially Escape. It's quite a film, and we'll look forward to talking to you very, very soon.
Thank you so much.